So here we have it. It's built on the specifications of the wooden foundation. I basically leveled it off, put some 2x4s down as per the specs in the instruction sheet, and then I covered it with some plywood and filled in the gaps between the 2x4s with some crushed gravel. So on approach to the shed, you can see that the locking mechanism latch is there. We did lag bolt down the floor as per the specs. And just to speak to a couple of things that I see might be an issue. If you look at the corners, you can see the flexibility required to actually fold the corners to be able to assemble the shed. However, if you look at the streaming of sunlight coming through, you can notice that it's pretty thin plastic, even on the back side. Other things to be noted is that there's a few gaps. You're going to get insects in the shed. That's why I apply mosquito screen to all sheds that I put up, because I've had wasps and problems in the past. And you can see there's also some gaps in the roof that you'll need to, and the sides, that you'll need to seal with probably, I'm going to use some clear caulking. To the other side, you can see also sunlight streaming through the shed. Also mosquito netting on the front vents. Now, when I close the door, you'll notice that there is a gap there. You're going to get insects in the shed in those gaps. You can also see on the floor, there's some gaps. What I want to note is they give you these steel reinforcements for both sides of the front that you bolt the ceiling joist to. However, these do not go all the way to the floor, as you can note, whereas the side posts go all the way to the floor. In the rear, they don't go all the way to the floor, but really it's not required because the rear is pretty stable. But the problem becomes in the fact that this particular steel reinforcement at the side of the door should go to the floor, because when you open the door, you get a noticeable flex right there. If this went all the way to the floor, you wouldn't have that flex. To me, I see this to be a great design flaw in this shed over the long term, because when you open the door, these pieces at the bottom, when they lock in, they move with the door. If this went all the way to the bottom of the floor, you wouldn't have the issue. Overall, though, I gotta say, the build was pretty easy. I did it with the help of one person. For the majority of the job, I did it myself. The only required I need. Also, you'll notice there's some gaps up top. You need to caulk there too, on the corners. Otherwise, you'll get insects. The only part I really needed help with was someone to pull down on the rear of the roof in order to screw the roof panels to the shed. The upper attachments were very easy. I would add that you should leave these three pieces untightened until you actually put these rails in, because you do have to adjust these up and down. So that's it in a nutshell for my review of the Suncast 7x7 Modernist Shed. Cheers.